Alright, here we go. Another video on these crappy ass doors. I wanted to point this out because I love this. Alright, these people had these doors refinished, quote unquote refinished, which means they hired somebody to come out, handyman most likely. I don't think a professional painter would have ever done this. So they had a handyman come out, said he could varnish all their doors. And, over existing varnish. So the customer at the time just wanted a fresh coat of varnish. So the guy didn't clean the doors. He didn't sand anything, where nothing is adhering to the old coat of varnish that came from the factory. And this is, if you look at this, okay, all those bumps, all that is trash in that guy's coat of varnish. And I really wish I would have picked up on this when I bid these. I did take a door home as a sample. They had some cabinets in the garage, and they said, well, these are the same ones that are inside. And I'm like, okay. And they asked me to do a sample, and so I took one of those doors and I painted it. I sanded it, painted it, did everything I need to do for a sample. And that door, the cabinets outside in the garage, they were never recoated by the handy guy. So none of this was on that other door, but these are off in the kitchen and dining area. And just look at that. It's ridiculous. All right, so what's happening is when I go to sand that off, all those are bubbles of, those are bubbles. And I can scrape it off with my fingernail. It's crazy. So next time, if you ever hire somebody, and this is one of the things that can make or break, if you're shopping for a cheap paint job, you're going to get what you pay for. This guy didn't prep. He didn't wash anything down. No degreaser. And he had so much trash in his varnish that he just spread it all over every single one of these doors, every inch of it. And if you look, all the stuff that looks like straw, this is actually old varnish that sits on a ledge like this, okay? And when I go to sand it, to smooth out, to get all the trash, this stuff is just popping off. Half of it's popping off, the other half I have to scrape because there's no adhesion there. The guy didn't sand the existing coat of varnish. Or else we wouldn't be having this problem. I surely wouldn't be able to pull it off with my fingernail. Now, I'm going to take a piece of sandpaper over that, and you can hear it. And the more I sand, the more trash comes off, obviously, but what does end up happening, now I've got a bunch of edges where the trash used to be, but now the varnish is kind of like loose in these areas. And this is, again, I can pick this off with my fingernail. Crying out loud. This is... It's horrible. It's adding about 30 minutes per door. I spend 30 minutes per door, 20 or 30 minutes sanding this area and this molding and then this. Getting all that trash out of there. The flats were easy. I can do that mechanically. And it took it right off. But all this, that's got to be hand sanded. And that is just, it's one of the worst examples of craftsmanship I have ever seen. But, we'll fix it. Don't worry, painter, fix it. That's how the saying goes.